Let's do a little thought experiment. 2 movies directed by James Cameron are extremely beloved and quite unique because they are sequels to classics, and it is widely accepted that unlike most sequels, not only did he respect the source material, but many would argue that he actually improved upon it. And those 2 movies are, of course, Terminator 2 and Aliens. Now, I very much enjoyed both of those movies, and so did most other people who watched them. I saw them both in the theaters on the first day they were released. And to many of us, they were a major part of our childhoods, and for that reason, they get grandfathered in to the anti-woke movement so that they are off limits. They are even used as the quintessential go-to examples that anti-woke critics will use to show how women protagonists should be done, and that they are not bigots after all, because they also enjoyed those movies. But imagine if either one of those movies came out now. It's a very different climate now. And those movies would be prime material to be deconstructed by anti-woke critics, which essentially can be done to literally any movie, because it's just shallow ideological offense hunting. You see, Ellen Ripley and Sarah Connor are essentially the exact same person, with the exact same character arc. They both started out as vulnerable women in horror movies being hunted by a seemingly unstoppable monster. And then, in their sequels, they both become iconic badasses protecting their children, fighting back against the monsters in action-oriented movies. Now, as an anti-woke critic, you might say that they both transitioned from women to men. And this would no doubt be part of some nefarious woke agenda. Maybe you could even mention something about Yuri Bezmenov. Now, how would these movies be broken down by an anti-woke critic if they came out today? Well, look at Sarah Connor. She went from being a classically feminine woman desired by the man who came to save her to a ripped, masculine woman who fights like a man. In the first movie, she knew her place.
Do exactly what I say. Exactly. Don't move unless I say. Don't make a sound unless I say. Do you understand?
But in the second movie, she's the one giving the men orders.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I'm not gonna let you do it.
I need clothes, food, and one of your trucks.
Hey, how about the feelings out of my fucking teeth?
Now, Enrique.
Look at Ellen Ripley, an attractive young woman who stood no chance against a single alien that killed the entire crew of her ship, someone who the camera did not shy away from when it came to seeing her feminine body. But in the second movie, with zero training, she managed to out-survive and outgun an entire elite Marine platoon who all died except for the one corporal who needed her to save him. They chopped off all her hair and dropped her into a world where the women wear men's suits and have more muscles than the men do. In the first movie, the Terminator was badass, but in the second movie, they turned him into a punchline, no doubt an influence of the woke MCU. What would they say about the man who was most directly responsible for the development of Skynet, and hence the nuclear holocaust? Oh, Miles Bennett Dyson, an obvious DEI hire?
Hey, man. What the fuck is up? Hello. Man, I just got out of the shower, so I didn't do nothing with this shit yet. Look at this. What is this? What is even happening here, man? I don't fucking know. I think I'm just going to shave it the rest way off, you know? Just fucking... I think it's going to go. How's everybody doing? Welcome. Am I audible? Camera, what are you doing, camera? This camera's got a fucking mind of its own, man. It's just like, I'm going to slowly fucking come down here and, you know. Oh, man. What's up, guys? It's been a minute. Haven't really been doing any streaming lately. Kind of taking a break, you know. We had the Shillies. That was a good time. If you missed that, you can still watch it. It's still there to be viewed. Definitely some circumstances came about, especially toward the end of that stream. Big things, big changes for the initiative. Yeah. So if you didn't see that, I guess I can tell you about it. Does anybody miss that? Does anybody miss what's going on next? What the next thing is? Let me know if you missed. Hey, you know what? I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I'm making it, man. I'm doing okay. What is on my shirt? I mean, the X-Men, bro. X-Men, Nancy. Come on. Just say yes to the X-Men, Nancy Reagan. You know? Everyone else? I mean, everyone else? I can't account for everybody, man. There's like 8 billion motherfuckers or some shit. I can't account for all of them. A lot of them are doing very badly, especially in like Gaza, Ukraine, you know. But I mean, other places too. There's just like, I mean, France is kind of up in the air right now, for fuck's sake. South Korea was kind of fucking touch and go there for a minute, like yesterday or whatever. You know, I can't account for everybody. And I know what you're saying. No, if you're asking about Jen, my partner, she's doing much better. We you know, really appreciate all of the support, especially through the GoFundMe and everything. You know, we met our goal, by the way. Shout out to Low Watermark for his, you know, I mean, generous isn't even the right word for it. Just like, whoa, why are you doing this? But we appreciate it. You know, help towards that. So Turf will be back. He's not gonna be gone like forever or anything. He's not, you know, he's not dead. But and he's not like completely retiring. I think there were some wires crossed because I made that promo and I said something about retiring, and I don't think that's really what he meant to say whenever he talked to me about it necessarily. He just meant more like, because retiring implies he's never going to do it again. And I don't think that's really the case. It might not be the case. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to just shut the door on all the way, right? Like he's just got so much other shit going on, and he hasn't been feeling it. He hasn't been feeling, you know, YouTube and whatnot. But we'll see what happens. So let's see, what do we got? Oh yeah. All right, here's the deal. Let me see if I can. This is camera fucking angle at, man. What is this? Can you do what I want you to do, please? All right, there we go. Okay, that's better. That's better. He's taking a long break that he probably won't come back to making content on a regular basis. Is basically what it is. He's going to be a founding member of the initiative. He's in good standing and excellent standing, and will always have a welcome, you know, a seat warmed for him. You know, I'll warm it personally with my mouth. You know, he's always welcome back, and he probably will whenever he's got something to say. He'll come back and give us a shout out and everything. But also, we it's not like we're down a member. We're still at 4 as far as like weekly regular co-hosts. We're also trying to still push to where we can have like, you know, just regular, you know, guests just popping on to where we can have even 5 or 6 people talking every week or whatever. We'd like to have a more robust panel every week. But don't sniff the chair. Yeah. I mean, I do love Turf Nation as much as whatever that guy's name is loves whatever that other fucking guy's name is. I say that, you know, that's true. This avatar was your way of confusing chuds while questioning them on their take on Snow White or whatever they're bitching about. Hey man, it confused me. Maybe I'm a chud. Based on this title of this stream, look, they're letting a black man talk about Star Wars now. What? Can you believe that? A black man. You know what I'm saying? I'm adopting the same tone that fucking Eric July has adopted with his new video about Skeleton Crew. That's the point of this, okay? Like I wish I could really just dive into like a satirical thing and just like not have any smile on my face while I'm doing it and not give it away or anything. But I know I just can't do it. Let me show you what I'm referring to that set this whole thing off in my mind. So they've been going relatively easy at Skeleton Crew, to be honest, compared to when Acolyte came out. They had lots and lots and lots of stuff ready to go for that one. I think, you know, they had plenty. I mean, obviously they were doing it before the thing came out because it was the most fucking review bomb thing ever, kind of thing. You know, so but right now what we're noticing is that they're circling. You know, we'll definitely get into this a little bit more next week. So obviously we didn't have a Shillcast this week. That'll be next week. But yeah, here's I'm just gonna start doing this. I want you guys to do this too. Just seriously, you know, they dare you not to, because it's like anything that you say about him being a black guy, they're like, you're racist. Don't fall for that shit. Okay. I want you to, anytime he puts out some shit like this, to just replace it with like whatever he's talking about with black guy, or you know, and in your mind, not like literally do that. Don't like literally go out and adopt that as a position or something. I'm just saying to show how fucking stupid it is. Two moms. ... Two moms. Box checking. You know? Black guy. ... If fucking I guess it would be Blaze Media, box checking. Republican Party, box checking. You know? I mean, look, I'm only about a few minutes into the second episode, but I was really impressed with the first episode. It was fun. It was exactly what I was hoping it would be. The kids are good. You know, like the kids are good actors and the characters, and I'm a sucker for that Neil thing, that little elephant boy. You know, that's kind of the Max Rebo kid. You know what I mean? Like I'm a sucker for that, and I love him. I love him instantly. I want to give him hugs. I want him, you know, I want to jostle his little hair, his little blue hair, and like, you know, I just want to say, hey, what's up, kid? Let's go kick some rocks down the street or something. I don't know. Like he just, I know he's not real. I know he's not. What are you talking about? I know he's not fucking real. Okay. Look, I didn't see that either. Does anybody know what he's talking about here? Because I haven't, like I said, I haven't finished the second episode. I think that's all that's out. Is he making shit up? Is he making shit up? Can somebody confirm or deny this? I mean, look, I feel like by now, it's like I said, I watched the first episode. Spoiler alert for Skeleton Crew. By the end of the first episode, they are honest. Okay. Next episode. So I was going to say that, like, it's hard to imagine that there's going to be a lot more that takes place back in on at Adden or whatever it is called, which is where I would think that any kind of two mom thing would come up, because we saw plenty of the dad, you know, Steve Urkel in space. We saw plenty of him. So I just figured we were done with parents kind of thing. We're off in space. We're doing space shit now. We're on the adventure. Don't need any fucking parent bullshit going on, you know, except we can cut back to Wimble or whatever his name is, and him, you know, fretting as he's like, oh, where's my son at, or whatever. But like, other than that, I just want to see some space adventures. Anyway, so he's pre-loading for next episode, if there is even anything there. Listen, man, Eric July is such a stupid piece of shit. Do you guys know how bad the fucking Rippaverse has failed? Like, it's not even a thing anymore. You know, all it is just like a little slice of money for him to make. And I'm sure that he's probably like eking by paying his few employees. I wonder if he's cut staff yet. I bet he has. So as far as Wim goes, what I'm thinking might happen, because we haven't learned about his mom. She's not around. We haven't seen her. So I'm thinking that there's something that's going to be a backstory about what happened with his mother and why his dad's such a kind of a fuddy-duddy. You know what I mean? His dad's kind of uptight. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's probably just like a, you know, what do you call it? Buzz Lightyear, the Lightyear movie thing. But yeah, look, I mean, a black man, ... You know, a black man, ... Anyway. Oh yeah, let's talk about Horseman for a second, real quick. Let's do that. Because, you know, you gotta, and look, the invite's still open, Rippaverse goalposts. Anytime you want to just hop on stream and prove you're not Eric July or somebody that we, you know, could recognize as being related to Eric July, you're welcome to do that. But let's see. Haters are claiming this was drawn by AI. They cry about every Rippaverse book, desperate for anything to use as a gotcha. Oh, well, 1 second here. No, it's not even AI, man. It's you know what the this is all from Horseman. Look, I mean, if you want us to defend the human artist that made this shit, he can do that, man. He can defend that. I mean, supposedly, yeah. So yeah, this is this is where the Rippaverse is at right now. And look, you know, somebody pointed out that this could be done on purpose for engagement, and I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put him past him because that's the kind of shit he would do. It really is. He you know, that's just the kind of shit he would do. But I don't want to spend too much time on him because he's really not he's a non-entity anymore. Let's see. One last thing on Skeleton Crew, because I think you make a good, decent-ish theory here, because I thought it was weird that the droid on the ship didn't know SM-33, I think, is that what it is? He didn't know what about their planet at all, which is interesting. Which indicates that it was probably renamed from whatever it was whenever the ship crashed on the said planet, because that's where it was, right? So whenever it crashed there, whatever happened, it was called something else. And we don't know why or whatever, but I feel like that was setting up something there, and we'll see. You know, we'll talk about it, because look, this is probably the most, I'm not going to say I'm super hyped about it, but it's got me. Like, I'm like, fuck yeah, this is a fun, you know, it's not like a high stakes thing. It's not like super serious like Andor or whatever, which I really did appreciate the gravity of that show. But like with this, it's just like, it's exactly what they've been saying it was going to be, what they've been, promoting it as, right? So, and it's got the vibe of the 80s Spielbergian, kid adventure, coming of age, innocence lost kind of thing. They found dead bodies. They found, what I mean? All that shit from Stand By Me and Goonies and everything. It's all there. So E.T. and Star Wars, yeah. E.T., Goonies, and then, yeah, all that. It's all there. It's all there. I'm with it. It's possible I get more hyped for it. I mean, I loved the way that the first episode ended. I fucking loved it. That they're like, oh shit, we're in space. And then, oh shit, we're in fucking hyperspace now. Yeah, Stand By Me. Sure. I mean, that's more of a mature version of that, but that's still the same thing, right? It's a similar vibe of like, it's a group of kids. Does anybody not see that? Stand By Me is kind of like in that same subsection of films. Yeah. All right. So, as I was showing before, did everybody catch? I know not everybody did, but like we were watching that Dark Matter 2525 video. This dude, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He was taking a look at basically, and we've talked about this before. We've talked about it on the Shillcast, Explorers as well. Yeah. We've talked about it on the Shillcast and individually. I'm sure that we're like, if it, and he even used the word that honestly, I felt like I was the only one that used it, grandfathered in. He used that term to refer to aliens in Terminator 2. They're grandfathered in to their, what's woke and what's not in their minds. Right. But he took it to such a degree that like, I'd never thought about it this far. If you haven't seen this video, man, like not only it's about a 55-minute video overall from a few days ago, 6 days ago or something. And most of it is just him sitting there, being a fucking, the biggest alpha Chad you've ever seen, talking about how he kind of was a little bit of an anti-SJW guy. And then he, pretty quickly got off of that. And now he's like very much a reasonable person. And, but then toward the end, he does the thing where, man, it's so good. Just check it out real quick. He's talking about Terminator 2 and aliens being, everybody generally agrees these are not only great movies, sequels, but they kind of, and most people would agree that they improved on the source material. They improved on the originals in a lot of ways. So what would happen if they came out today though? And I just want to make sure everybody sees this because it is later in his video, and I kind of feel like that's he should release it separately. Not that he watches my content, but dude, if you do watch my content, you should cut this out and release it separately. I think it's worth it on its own. It's like an 9-minute video that you could just upload, and it's great.
They both become iconic badasses protecting their children, fighting back against the monsters in action-oriented movies. Now, as an anti-woke critic, you might say that they both transitioned from women to men. And this would no doubt be part of some nefarious woke agenda. Maybe you could even mention something about Yuri Bezmenov. Now, how would these movies be broken down by an anti-woke critic if they came out today? Well, look at Sarah Connor. She went from being a classically feminine woman desired by the man who came to save her to a ripped, masculine woman who fights like a man. In the first movie, she knew her place.
Do exactly what I say. Exactly. Don't move unless I say. Don't make a sound unless I say. Do you understand?
But in the second movie, she's the one giving the men orders.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I'm not gonna let you do it.
I need clothes, food, and one of your trucks.
Hey, how about the feelings out of my fucking teeth?
Now, Enrique.
Look at Ellen Ripley, an attractive young woman who stood no chance against a single alien that killed the entire crew of her ship, someone who the camera did not shy away from when it came to seeing her feminine body. But in the second movie, with zero training She managed to out-survive and outgun an entire elite Marine platoon who all died except for the one corporal who needed her to save him. They chopped off all her hair and dropped her into a world where the women wear men's suits and have more muscles than the men do. In the first movie, the Terminator was badass, but in the second movie, they turned him into a punchline, no doubt an influence of the woke MCU. What would they say about the man who was most directly responsible for the development of Skynet, and hence the nuclear holocaust? Oh, Miles Bennett Dyson, an obvious DEI hire? No wonder Skynet happened. And what's this? John Connor is a juvenile delinquent and ends up in a foster home with shitty parents, all white people, while Dyson has a fully intact, happy...
I mean, seriously, like, yeah, it's exaggerated dishonesty, dude, but like, it's performative, it's satirical, obviously, but like, tell me that this isn't exactly what they would say. Maybe not one chud would say all of this, but several chuds, if you got like 10 of them, they would cover all this ground. They would each have, you know, on a Friday Night Tights, that's where it would happen. Dude, a Friday white woke spotting, 100%. That's why he's that's why he got the Shilly, man. That's why he got the best picture, best director. But like, Friday Night Tights is where this would go down. Between all of these fucking idiots on the panel, they would make these points, every single one of them.
Nuclear family, obvious Hollywood propaganda. The first time the colonial Marines encounter the aliens, it's a slaughter. But who saves them? Gorman, a lieutenant of the Marines? No, of course not. He naturally panics and freezes. But Ripley, the invincible Mary Sue, takes control, charges in, and saves everybody.
Oh yeah, well, guess what? Fucking
Wait a minute, what did I call them, by the way? Colonial Marines? You mean colonizers, right? And what happens to them? They all get killed. Yet another obvious heavy-handed Hollywood message: kill the colonizers. And what's the main reason they all die? Well, they got stranded. How'd they get stranded? Their dropship crashed. Who was piloting their dropship? DEI hire, that's who.
I mean, and he didn't even mention that canonically that character is... That's the one, right? Yeah, I think so. Is it? That's the character that's trans? Because in Alien 3, at the beginning, it's showing like the characters that died in the previous film. It's showing their files on screen or whatever, and I think that's character that is said to be trans, which is just an interesting addition, like especially for 1990. What was it? 92 when that movie came out, Alien 3.
And how was Sarah and the gang?
It's Lambert, not Farah. Okay, my bad. My bad.
Able to get past security of Cyberdyne systems. DEI hire. In the first movie, Sarah did nothing.
Look, man, not everybody can have the golden touch like I do. Okay.
But run and hide. But now she fights like a man and beats up only men. But I'm sure that isn't part of some woke agenda, right, Holly?
He doesn't even mention how it displays that one man who's a creepy pervert who's trying to essay her. You know, that's just showing how, like, there's so many things that they would be using in that way, and that he didn't even get them all. And he got so many. He got way more than I would have thought. Like, this would have taken me and probably everybody in the initiative sitting and going through the movies and like making notes of like everything. And that's probably what he did. But yeah.
Would. By the way, Sarah Connor wasn't the only one who
They do, Daniel. Did you just show up, man? Rewind a bit.
Transitioned from female to male in Terminator 2. See, the first Terminator was very obviously male. But the new modern woke Terminator, it literally transitions from female to male right before our very eyes multiple times. Is it male? Is it female? Neither? Both? Apparently, it's what the wokes call gender fluid. Wait a minute. Liquid metal? Gender fluid? The how...
Fluid? So fucking dumb, and he knows it's dumb. That's funny. Yeah, this is Dark Matter 2525, as it says on the screen there.
Hollywood message is added again, and when it transitions into a man, it's not just any man, but a cop. Multiple different cops. Of course, they have to play into the ACAB narrative by presenting the cop as the bad guy, spitting in the face of the classic first movie where the cops were the good guys, but now they're the bad guys. And where does Sarah and John Connor find help from this unstoppable cop? Well, with a bunch of illegals, of course. They're helpless without the illegals who supply them with plenty of illegal guns to fight against the invincible cop. Just try to be a little more heavy-handed with the message, Hollywood. We're not getting it yet. And what's the true nature of the aliens anyway? Why
This is probably my favorite part, honestly, because I would not have thought of this shit.
are they such formidable opponents? Well, all the aliens you actually see are just lowly male drones serving a queen. That's right. In the first movie, the alien was a Sigma male. But in the second movie, it's a matriarchy.
There's like one female that runs the whole show.
Yes, the queen.
Yeah, the mama.
See this? It's not a xenomorph. It's a Sigmalian.
She's badass, man. I mean, big.
Ripley charges in and starts aborting.
I agree, man. I just came across him not long ago. I don't know if I sent him an email or left a comment or something. I'm bad about leaving a comment and then not going back to check and see if they reply. And I don't have like my notifications on YouTube, so I don't even know why I do that. I'm just like, hey man, you should come by and check out all the check out the initiative and be on the show sometime or whatever. I've done this several times, and then I just forget that I left that comment, and who knows if they replied. Well, they are. I mean, they might even be genderless, to be honest. The only one that really matters that has a gender is would be the queen, because it's the only one that produces egg. You know, I mean, I guess they got a weird life cycle. If you're not familiar, it's a cuckomorph. The xenomorph. Whoops.
All the unborn aliens, which of course triggers the queen, who chases after.
This is so fucking good, dude. I can't even believe it.
Yeah, the mama. She's badass, man. I mean, big.
Ripley charges in and starts aborting all the unborn aliens, which of course triggers the queen, who chases after Ripley. And how does she end up defeating the queen anyway? Oh, that's right. Remember that scene where she proves that a woman can use a loader better than the men, the well-trained Marine men who have.
So I want to point out here that I don't know if he did this on purpose, but he made this more realistic than you might even think at first listen, because it never says that any of them are trained to use the loader, because they're not dock workers. That's what she was doing for her day job before this incident happened in the beginning of the Aliens movie. So some time passes. It's not easy to tell if, watching the movie, but like whenever she gets picked up after being, she's floating in space for what, like 55 years or something, they pick her up, they give her a job working as in docks, loading shit. And she learns how to use the fucking auto loader, right? Because you have to, if you're going to work on, whatever dock she's working on. That doesn't mean that the Marines know how to use them. Just because they're Marines, they probably, they know how to use weapons, they know how to fight, they know tactics and all that shit. But that doesn't mean they know how to use this thing, right? There's never any indication that she's actually, he's Will Jordan. Thank you. He's getting shit wrong, trying to prove a point. That's how accurate this is. So like, he's getting the lore wrong, right? Because she knows how to use it because that's been her job, and she's showing off that she knows how to use it, and they aren't laughing because they feel fucking emasculated or something. They're like, holy shit, she's badass. She knows how to use that fucking, that's not I never took that moment as them like being emasculated or something, wherever they kind of laugh about it, right? That's just them like, oh shit, that's impressive, right? But yeah, he's so good at this that he even included the chud perspective that he's operating from being incorrect about the lore that he's talking about what happens in the movie.
have no choice but to protect their fragile egos by laughing at her? Well, that's what she uses to face the queen, a strong black female.
She knew.
Wait, no, hold on, Daniel. I just realized that you don't think that he's serious. This is all satirical, man. This is all satirical. Please go back and watch the beginning of this segment. Please do not just continue watching from here. If you're going to have comments and you're going to engage with what you're watching right now, please go back and watch when I start this video. It's worth it. And if you're thinking that this is a sincere video, you're missing the point fucking entirely. And it's worth it to go back and watch the whole thing.
No. Nobody believed her.
Believe all women.
Now, I could go on and on and on and on, but clearly the point is that the timeless classics Alien and Terminator were bastardized by woke Hollywood sequels nobody asked for. All right, that's enough. You get the idea. It's analysis that's so shallow, you can literally invent offense into anything you want and then claim it's part of some nefarious agenda.
So that last edit there, that was me. Because, I mean, come on now. Come on. Tell me doesn't. Tell me that's not Kratos. You know what I mean? That's Kratos, man. No, that's Dark Matter 2525. He's been around a while. If you're not subscribed, I will drop his link again. You should be. He's fucking good. This is a video, his most recent one from 6 days ago, called Why I Stopped Being Anti-Woke. This one. So this is him. Nearly 800,000. And he needs way more, man. Why I Stopped Being Anti-Woke. This is a very good video. I recommend. Oh, he did. Okay, he did do it. You brilliant bastard. Thank you. Kratos 2525. He released it separately. I mean, look. Yeah, that's how good he is. Before I even said it, he was like, I can feel it coming ahead in the time stream. I don't know. Does Kratos do that? I've never really played those games. But yeah, this is very good, very fucking good, man, because he talks about his time as, like, he was kind of, as he says, kind of part of the vanguard of anti-SJW content back in like 2015, 2016. He was right up there with all of the, you know, Amazing Atheists and the Thunderfoots and the, I guess, Chris Ray Guns and whoever the fuck else there was that was, you know, doing that shit. He was there and he believed it for a hot minute, and he explains exactly why he got into that and exactly how he was mistaken and how he came to understand that he was mistaken about what he was looking at and what he was talking about, and how he came out the other side as seeing this shit for being for, you know, what it is. Can't recommend that video enough. Yeah. But good on him for, if you just want to watch that again, just on its own too, I recommend that. Just check that out. Share it around, man. I mean, I haven't seen, I know that Thunderfoot came around a little bit better than he was at some point, but I was just never too into his content or him in general anyway to care. So what up, Max? Up in fucking Japan. Yeah. All right. So I want to talk to you guys about something. It's uncomfortable for me. It's the first time I've really done this. Okay. You know what? I'll save it. I'll save it. All right. So the Epicverse is dead. long live the Epicverse, I guess. You know, like what? Nothing ever came of it. Nothing ever happened. Let me show you what I mean here. This is the Epicverse website. Remember? You guys remember that shit? It's supposed to be the next. It was supposed to be the next Rippaverse, man, but they speed run that shit and just said, you know what? If we're gonna fail like the fucking Rippaverse, why do we even need to get started? Let's just fail before we start. And then yeah, it's easy to do, man. It's easy to do. Here, I'll show you what I mean by that. Here we go. So this is just for anybody that's, you know, forgot or you weren't familiar in the first place.
For years, we've had to deal with Hollywood's woke onslaught of destructive agendas in their films.
Those are people that just want to tell stories that represent their social political views.
At Epicverse, we care about
canon and continuity,
excellent storytelling, and respect for our fans.
Respect the customer.
Things Hollywood has forgotten.
We don't want to make the same mistake as the other guys.
That changes today.
So maybe it's time for something new. Welcome to the Rippaverse.
That's why we launched Epicverse.
I don't understand it.
And then we did get some posters, though. We got some posters about the Epicverse posters. Well, I have them here. Oh. Ryan Kennel. He's going to star in. He's starring in Mass Shooter.
Well, dude, it's not called Mass Shooter. It's called Ass Shooter. Okay.
Well, I mean, actually.
There you go. That's a real one. Yeah, I like how it's not like starring in or anything. He just is ass.
Yeah. You know, and then there's this one that's just really, you can tell they spared no expense on the posters too. Just
what's crazy is that quality wise, this is indistinguishable from the official posters. Just
right. Yeah. Well, then we get to the other one, the other movie.
What a great tagline, man.
That guy in a little coat. His nipples are chafed and he's tired of sucking in his belly.
Well, what's great about these movies is that these are movies that speak to the everyman.
Right. Well, no, that's not the real one. Here we go. This is the real one. Someone call the cops because this guy is negging middle school girls at the laser tag arena. Good times. Good times. And then just want to show you this little Twitter exchange from a while back. So, this is from, what is that? August 4th, 2023. You got Epic Mike, detractors. If you hate modern media so much, why don't you do something about it and stop complaining? Me and Josiah create Epicverse. Detractors. I can't wait to hate on this. In fact, I'll start now by making wild, baseless assumptions. Stay classy. Look, I'll give it to Epic Mike. Epic Mike, look, man. Look. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna tell you this. Epic Mike, you were right. We made a lot of jokes about the quality of the films that you were going to produce. And we were wrong. We simply were wrong. Because you didn't produce any films. You fucking loser, grifter, pieces of shit. All right. When is Epicverse going to release something? When everything is ready. Hopefully early 2024. Okay. Sure. Or let's see. Oh no, they must have paid their fucking bill, man. They must have paid their bill. Look at them go. Congratulations, guys. You paid your fucking bill and got your shit back on. Oh, it still looks like garbage though. It's still bad. Look at this. These all look like what is this, man? What is this shit? This has got to be AI slop garbage. Just fucking, I mean, oh my God. Oh my God. This is the worst. The worst shit. That seems vaguely fucking, not even vaguely. It just seems like some white nationalist shit right here, man. No, man, what you do is you make a bunch of terrible fucking posters with, I mean, terrible. You know what? I'm going to sign up for their email list. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sign up for their email list because I want to be in the know. Like this, these all look like. I mean, like if somebody was producing an indie video game and they made these posters for them, like this poster for indie video game, I'd be like, that's good. That's pretty cool, man. You know, legit. I'd be like, that's not bad. That's kind of cool. I don't understand what the title has to do with the image. It doesn't convey anything coherent to me at all. Nothing coherent. This is just called magic, and it seems to have, look, what seems to be just, you know, a black magic man, and a little white girl. This is the kind of thing I feel like that they would shit on. What even is this? Did they think that this was just clever enough that they didn't need to create any kind of imagery to go along with it? Unadult rated. Like, they thought that was really clever, I'm sure. This looks like a PlayStation 1 video game case, right? Maybe PS2. This is, you know, once again, this is call the police because this guy, this guy is negging teenage girls in the fucking laser tag arena. This is almost certainly some kind of Christ shit, you know, and this stars a white nationalist named Ryan Kinnell. They seem like generic tough guy. Like these would be. This is the slop that even people who shop. There are people, okay, who still get their movies from red boxes. There's still red boxes around. People still get their movies from. They're typically like 40, 50-year-old dudes, single, you know, dads, you know, divorced dad kind of energy shit. They would overlook this shit to buy the garbage, rent the garbage that you only find in a fucking red box. You know, Nicolas Cage's newest fucking actioner or whatever. And then they're going to quote Gandalf. What? Dude. What? Oh, let's see what merch they got. They got some merch. Can I tell you all a secret? Like, unironically, I was in a band in 2002 that pretty much used this exact same stupid generic Phoenix thing for our logo. And it was stupid then. I thought it was stupid. The singer was like, oh, it's so cool. I was like, dude, this is fucking dumb. Like, and I'm somebody who reads X-Men comics. I like the concept of the Phoenix, and I still thought it was dumb to just have a Phoenix on our fucking little demo CD. But this is like the exact same thing as that. One review. And they're using a black guy to sell it, man. You know what I mean? I get a lot of folks asking me who they are, and I tell them, and when they love it, that some good people are going make good movies again, and they ask me where they can get the shirt. I tell them, and I'm proud of you all. Be blessed. Holy shit, dude. I'm embarrassed for them. I do have something to announce, though. I'm working on some music still, again, more. I've already got the music of it. I just have to, work on some vocals. Yeah, that's it. If you want a taste of what the music will sound like, you've been hearing it for quite some time. I've been using it on my channel for a while, and it's by a guy named Jacob Lazat, and he does the music, and I have decided I would like to create like a demo or something with some vocals on it, and maybe mix some stuff up, remix some of the stuff that he's done, and see how it goes. But like, yeah, I'm excited about that. Epic Failverse, yeah. What? What are you talking about, man? Cyclops is a man, so he can't be a lesbian. And Jean Grey's not a lesbian. What? You're not missing much, man. Just fucking kind of, making fun of Epicverse, because I thought that they were done for. Last I checked, their website was out of commission, but apparently somebody loaned them a couple of bucks and they got it back up. Good for them. That's not a great sign for how the movies are going, though. If they've literally only had these shitty fucking posters for all this time now, and they can't even keep the lights on their website, keep the bill paid. You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, oh shit, yeah. Oh, did you not pay for the website? You didn't pay for the Squarespace? No, did you? What? Fuck, dude. Do you have any money? I got like, I don't know, man. How much money you got, Epic Mike? I don't know. Let me call Griggs. Griggs, can I borrow some money? He's like, no, man. Fuck you, man. Call fucking Ryan Kennel. Epic Mike's like, dude, I can't call Ryan Kennel, because I'm black. You know how Ryan Kennel is. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm sure we'll never see anything substantive from the Epicverse, man. I mean, maybe we see something from it, but it's gonna be shit. We just know that. Are they? Is Epic Mike doing great with money? You know? Exactly. They're not making these movies, man. They were supposed to be short films, and they might have actually intended to make some short films. But that's the extent of it, really. You know, it's they've probably made whatever money they want to make from it. You got I don't know, Alexander the Badass. I don't know, man. I don't know what that matters. But yeah. So what else was I going to talk about? Epicverse. Black man has an opinion on Star Wars. I can't believe that the rights allowing that. What are you up to, Bob? Are you off work, or what you're working right now, I imagine? So I think we'll announce it tomorrow night, probably on stream. Because yeah, live AF's gonna be back, probably late AF tomorrow. Gonna have an announcement. I know that the channel's been kind of dry lately as far as content. We did the Shillies, haven't really done many uploads, but just kind of taking it easy, man. And also just kind of taking time to adjust the approach. I'm also changing up some stuff about my own lifestyle. You know, you guys have probably seen me sucking down these fucking energy drinks before. You've probably heard me talking about, and for a couple of years, that I was taking Adderall for, you know, what you take Adderall for, prescribed Adderall. I'm not taking Adderall anymore. And there's been an adaptation or adapting that's necessary. Sorry, not adaptation, but adapting that's necessary to make content, because my focus and my ability to just say like and edit stuff and stuff like that has definitely shifted. I feel better. I feel more like myself. I feel you know, but generally the focus and the energy, I guess, the cranked up fucking pill energy that you get from Adderall, you know, I was kind of relying on that to a degree, I suppose. And now I don't have it. So like I've had to make some adjustments. Part of that is just, well, I mean, at first I was like, well, I guess I'll just drink more energy drinks and coffee and shit like that. And that's not good, man. Why is this camera doing weird shit like that? That's not a good thing. I had to figure out something else, man. I had to figure out a workaround. I don't believe in magic. Okay. I don't believe in magic. I do believe in, you know, things that are shown to have benefits. You guys know that I'm all about mindfulness, and, you know, I believe that mindfulness and being mindful of our own biases, our own, you know, limits in perception, being mindful of our own traumas and hangups, and just, you know, all these things, being mindful of other people's perspectives, all of these things, I think is necessary. I think this is generally what the right lacks. I think it's what bad content lacks. I think it's what, you know, unhealthy relationships, toxic people. I think all of those lack a degree of mindfulness, in my opinion. And that was the thing that I was most scared about, honestly, is that like without some kind of a ADHD fucking stimulant, that am I going to be able to be as mindful as I like to be? And, you know, it wasn't as big a shift as I thought it was going to be, but it does help to have something that helps. So, and here we go, shifting into a promotion now, because I am now a referral partner for a brand called Magic Mind. It is these things, little bottles, you know, little bottles of stuff. And it's like tastes kind of like green tea. You drink it. It's It's not really an energy drink. They call it a what do they call it? A productivity shot. All right. And yeah, well, if you use my link or the QR code that's about to pop up here, you can get $40 off your first order. I got 1 month order that I think I am going to go ahead and renew for the next month. And I got, what is it? 30 bottles. So one for every day. And honestly, that's all you need. You drink it, you know, you can drink it along with like a nice coffee or an energy drink. I haven't given those up completely. So, but like if I just drank an energy drink on its own, right? I would crash from this shit really quick, really fucking fast. Like within a few hours, and that'd be it. I'd need to drink another one or, you know, whatever. But this dude, drink that, lasts all day. There's no jittery effect. Like this is me now with it. You know what I mean? I'm clear as day. No jittery effect, no fucking come down, crash, or anything like that. And it also helps you stay focused and calm. Like it's got all of the things that I really need to get through a day and be productive and stuff like that, and not get too distracted, too sidelined, right? And you guys know that I have not shilled a lot of stuff on this channel, despite the name of my, you know, our podcast. We don't actually shill for Marvel. I shill for certain Marvel products or stories that I like or whatever, but I don't shill for Marvel blindly or Disney blindly or anything like that. And I'm not shilling for this blindly. You might not like this. You know what I mean? This might not be for you. But for me, as someone who likes to stay fucking focused, and I probably shouldn't be cussing in this promotion, someone who likes to stay focused and likes to stay productive and clear-minded and stuff like that, and honestly just mindful. That's the best word I can use to sum up what I feel like this helps me most with. Yeah, so you can check that out at magicmind.com/Dane AF. That's my link, and using that link you will get $40 off your first order. Same thing with the QR code. So and I encourage you to do research. Check out the various websites that review this type of stuff. You know, there's all kinds of outlets that focus on reviewing this type of product to let you know if it's bunk or anything like that. I always do my diligence on stuff like that, and I'm very, very impressed with this product. I wouldn't offer it to you if otherwise. So there you go. There it is. Oh, I also got, where's it? Oh shit. I don't know. I got a bag of like gummy drops of the stuff too. Those are pretty good. Actual shill arc. That's right. That's right. There you go. $40 off. $40 off your first order with my QR code right there on the screen or via my link. And so you'll probably see this in the corner and stuff. I'm gonna, you know, I'll run this type of thing probably at the beginning and end of streams. Try not to like interrupt the content itself for you guys. But you know, more than anything, if I can get a couple of you to use this, and then I think they're going to give me $30 off or something like that. I don't know how they're doing this promotion that way, but they give me a good amount of money off of my order. And with I think 2 or 3 of you, my shit would be covered. That'd be great for me. I'm not looking to make a bunch of money, but that would be awesome. Just full disclosure. But you know, try it out or not. Free country, man. All right. Yeah, I mean, you know what I was looking at the other day? This reminds me. Perfect fucking setup for this. Let's see. Do you remember simpler times? You guys remember these simple times? Just, I may have already shown this on stream. I don't remember, but like, there were simpler times at one point, and I just kind of want to sometimes go back to there, but not really. Remember simpler times? Wow. You know, how ambitious. See, we got most of this, right? We got most of this. Some of it was in slightly different form. This Justice League Part 1, Part 2 thing was, The Flash in 2018. Right. The Flash in 2018. That's fucking funny, man. Cyborg, sorry. Eek. Oof. Eesh. You know, looking at it like this, maybe I can understand, was it Ray Fisher a little bit more? Maybe I can empathize, considering like he seems to be the only one that got shafted on this other than the Green Lantern Corps, but that's getting a TV show now, right? So I don't know, man. I had another one that was like Marvel, DC, and like every comic book related thing that was going to be coming out starting in like 2013 or 14. That one is pretty crazy if I can find that. Let me see. Oh, I do want to show this badass moment, comic book moment real quick. So Taskmaster, I know, you know, maybe they're going to redeem him a little bit. Her, I suppose, in the Thunderbolts movie, and she'll get to be pretty cool, hopefully. In the comics, he's pretty fucking hilarious sometimes, and I just want to... If you haven't been reading Deadpool, it's been pretty good. This is from a couple issues back, and Taskmaster is a main character in the Deadpool series, along with Ellie, Deadpool's daughter, as well as Princess, Deadpool's symbiote dog daughter. But Deadpool came upon a magic villain that uses magic. And if you've seen anything from promos or anything or read it, you know that Deadpool died in the comics recently, and he was killed by this magic user. But before he was dead, I guess, Taskmaster, who is employed by Deadpool, so he's very loyal to who he's employed by, was trying to get access to Deadpool, who had been known to be fighting this villainous magic guy. And I just fucking laughed my ass off at this. So the bad guy has these magic, you know, users that are using spells and stuff at him, and Taskmaster says, "You chumps think you're the only ones who can do fancy hand seals?" He starts saying some spell here, and they're like, You lie. Impossible. And then you see Taskmaster just like doing this badass, you know, whatever he's doing, but it looks cool, right? Let me show you superpower secret technique I learned off a real Sorcerer Supreme. Domain expansion, gun. And he goes, "That's not a real technique." And he goes, "Nah, just kidding." Blam. Another minute of that, my hand would have been toast. Need to get to Deadpool. He just fucking fakes him out and shoots him in the fucking head. I love it. I love it. He can do the spells, like he can do the hand gestures, but I don't think he's like kind of he hasn't actually practiced, or he's not his biology is not made up to do it or something like that. So like you said, if he would have kept doing it, his hand would have been toast. But he can distract them and then pull out a fucking gun and just blast them in the head, which is pretty great. Loved it. By the way, tomorrow we're going to be talking about some Absolute Superman again, because it is absolutely awesome a second time in a row. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. It's a very, very, very good second issue. This is quickly going to become, it's like catching up to Ultimates as my favorite of the year. My favorite new book of the year, I suppose I should say. Right. He doesn't have so going back to Taskmaster, he doesn't have the mana or whatever. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I think I'll know for sure tomorrow, but I'm almost willing to say that Absolute Superman is the best reinvention of a very well-known character that I've ever read after 2 issues. The stuff that you learn about him with his powers and you know, just the way Jason Aaron writes them and everything is fucking brilliant. So the cape on its own, you guys, his cape is something unbelievable. I mean, it's just brilliant. And I that's all I can say. We'll look at it tomorrow with Bob of the Old Ways, and Morgan, I believe, should be on, and maybe we'll have another guest. We don't know. But we'll definitely announce a new project that we've got in the works. And it is a project that will not be live streamed. It will be recorded off stream, but there will be invitations to certain folks to participate in the viewing of the recording, and then maybe even discussion around that. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. It's going to be a different kind of thing that I think you guys will appreciate. And we're going to be looking at some media. Okay. I don't want to give anything away, but yeah. Right. The what is it? Red Sunstone or whatever it is. Like, oh my God. So good. So good. Thanks, man. I mean, hopefully the stream itself is good for a like. If you guys are watching and enjoying this at all, please give it a like. It helps quite a bit. I'd like to see, at least 10% likes to the view count. That's generally a decent gauge. I mean, more than that is great. But yeah. What else we got? I'm trying to work out an interview with somebody. I don't really want to talk about it yet. I'm trying to work out a pretty interesting interview with some folks. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But got a video coming up that is a reaction type thing, including with Morgan and with Bob of the Old Ways. Oh, look, this is kind of the hook I like to dangle for folks. Hey, you might get something cool, maybe not. Only one way to find out. Yeah, so there's definitely a no prize, or it could be a prize. We don't know. I actually don't know yet. What else we got? Some comics here. I started reading. Oh, by the way, okay, look, Morgan, Bob, if you can read the newest Avengers book, the issue number 21. So fucking good. It's if you know, you know. Don't say anything about what's actually in this book if you've read it, but here's what it's marketed as. What it's I mean, because as we know, Jed MacKay is currently writing X-Men. He's also writing the Avengers. Here they collide. Jed MacKay's Avengers versus Jed MacKay's X-Men. Holy shit. You're not ready. It's crazy. All right. Don't say if you know what happens in it. Assault on Grey Malkin's starting off pretty good. The new Ultimates is very good. No, it's nothing like AVX. I promise you that. It's nothing like it. So this was the first time I feel like that this book has been able to. Are we going to talk about this tomorrow, guys? Morgan, I'm sure you've read it. Bob said he hasn't been keeping up with it, which is okay, but I'd like to talk about it at some point. If you know what happened at the last issue, it was a big deal. This one, I love it. It's really the first time it's just like a stop, you know, kind of relax and breathe. Okay, well, I won't go any further with it then yet, Morgan. I'll just say that it's a relax and breathe kind of episode, and it's a kind of get to know everybody a little bit better issue. And I really appreciated that. It was the perfect time for it. This is actually, this is Jim Hammond. That's what he looks like. Human Torch. So that's cool because I've never really read anything where he's like a relevant part of the story. A beach episode, as we call it in manga. Okay. It is kind of that, I suppose. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. What else? Oh, Ninja Turtles, guys. If you want you're way into the Ninja Turtles, right now is the absolute best possible chance. You can go back and read all of the IDW stuff from I think 2016 or whatever. You know, they kind of just hit a point where they're like, it's not a reboot, but it's like a relaunch, a line-wide relaunch. They hit a point in the story where it's like big shit happened, and now the board is changed. Jason Aaron is writing Ninja Turtles now. I want to tell you about another story that, holy shit, guys, wow. Okay, but nonetheless, Ninja Turtles Alpha. It's very good so far. It's got the turtles kind of spread out, doing their own thing. I think it's very much influenced by the success of The Last Ronin, just in having 2011, really? Holy shit. But like they're all kind of doing their own thing. Like Michelangelo, won't give too much away, but he's a bit of a star in a certain place, doing some cool shit. Raphael is in a very opposite place when you catch up with him. Donatello as well. You know, they're kind of at a separate ways kind of thing, and I'm excited to see how that goes. But Wolverine getting really good. Adamantine. Oh, this is what we got to cover too, by the way. Awkward timing on this one, but it did come out, and it was a weird read. I'll tell you that. It was weird to read this one. 1/6 number 3. We covered the first two. I really hoped that, yeah, oof, indeed, right. I don't know that there's even much to gain from it, honestly. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can talk about it at some point, but it's weird. West Coast Avengers, pretty good. This new Iron Man book is pretty fucking cool so far. But here's what I really want to talk about. These 15 issues here. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. By Jason Aaron. It is, just read it, man. Like if you're into stuff that's like kind of it's funny, it's violent, it's romantic, it's sweet, it's fucking brutal, it's everything. Gordy, Jesus Christ. There's a lot of stuff going on in this book, and it's 15 issues start to finish. One of the most, I don't know, it's about relationships. It's really what it's about. You know, it's about two people, how they can come together, how they can grow into, you know, falling in love, how they can build a life together, and how that life can come apart, and then, you know, what can happen after that, and then all of that in the context of post-apocalypse. And it's so well described by Jason Aaron that it's worth reading just for that. Let me read a couple of little things to you. So like right here, whoops. She'd been sailing for 19 5/8 days, past glaciers of melted plastic, through fields of green, glowing ice that burned her eyes, above wild infernos raging in the deep, where the sea was scabbed with ash and pockmarked with geysers of gushing black fire. 1 second, let me get Gordy in this motherfucker. She'd seen no other living soul upon the water. She hoped it would stay that way. She rode into the unknown with the vigor of someone who knew exactly what it was she was rowing away from. She told herself when she left that she would sail until she hit land or ran out of food. She'd run out of food 3 days ago. But she would have kept right on rowing. Through the flooded forest of steel and the toxic swamp and whatever lay beyond. She would have sailed right past the tower and never once looked back. Anyway, and that's just one small little thing about describing. Okay, man, you're fucking out of here, dude. Fuck off, dude. I don't give a fuck. Stop fucking talking about Jean Grey being fucking lesbians in the Ultimate Universe, and you're fucking obsessing over it, man. Like, what is your deal? Nobody's even talking about that. Jesus Christ. And with that beautiful description, and then just shit. Shitting shit. But yeah, and it's got several different artists. It takes place over a course of a lifetime, 2 lifetimes at once, really. Different artists. Nick Dragotta, who's currently doing Absolute Batman as well. Does one of the 3 time periods that this covers. But let me show you some of that art from the end there. Here we go. Nick Dragotta's stuff here. It's good shit. I also recommend Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. It's only got, 2 or 3 issues out so far? That's Jerry Duggan. It's not very similar, but kind of somewhat similar in the sense of like it's about 2 characters, 2 kind of star-crossed, never should work, but they come together and fall in love kind of characters, and that basically the end of the world or on the way to hell or whatever, crazy circumstances. Kind of romance for comic book nerds, And I mean that in like the most positive way possible. Okay. Let's see where we're at. Anything else? Can you guys believe they're letting a black guy talk about Skeleton Crew now? Like Star Wars, the right, the Republicans, they're checking boxes. They're letting a black man have opinions. ... Wow, 6 issues. Damn. I fucking fell off on that one quick. Thank you, Blissful Haze. Thank you for backing me up so that people know that it's just a joke.
And yes, I did mention Joe Rogan, guys. Do not get me wrong. I like Joe. Joe's my friend. Joe's a good guy. But if you listen to his podcast, you're a fucking loser. My brother-in-law is Joe Rogan's biggest fan. Never misses an episode, doesn't think 4 hours is long enough. But my brother-in-law is Joe Rogan's target demographic. My brother-in-law is a conspiracy theorist. A crazy conspiracy theorist. Like, my brother-in-law refuses to become an organ donor because he swears that if you get into an accident and the paramedics see that you're an organ donor, they won't try to save your life because they want to use your organs to help someone else. It's insane, but I can't argue with him. He's a paramedic.
So I'll go ahead and tease this a little bit. Morgan and Bob of the Old Ways and I, we reacted to basically this entire stand-up special by Anthony Jeselnik on Netflix called Bones and All. We did a reaction to it, and I'm still taking my time editing that down. And this joke right here is one of the reasons why. I was just like, oh my God. Like, I think he's kind of somewhat mastered the reversal of this shit.
20 years of stand-up comedy. Just last weekend, I finally perfected my act. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was perfect before. Ran into an audience member after my show last Saturday who told me different. Last Saturday night, I'm doing a show in New York. After my set, I'm trying to get out to the car. A woman from the audience chases me down, practically tackles me. She says, Anthony, that last joke you told tonight, your closer, I've got to tell you, that joke is problematic. You need to think about it, and you need to change it. So I changed it, and now it's my opener. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you that joke, explain what happened with that woman, and then nail home the point that I'm the best. Obviously.
All right. Persona 5, huh? Okay. I don't know what that's about. I do have here. What here? I have a PS5 now. And I've chosen to get back into doing, whatever, having a PlayStation account. So I'm actual fandom on PlayStation, I don't know, man. I've been fucking, I don't know, it's been itching. It's been itching. And then I saw this. Thing here. I saw this and I was like, man, what if I adopted that same tone and I was like, a black man, ... and then Republican box checking or something, like, I mean, that's how absurd it is. It's so fucking absurd that, and if you think that's racism, then maybe you should think about that and what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, if you think I'm obviously satirically saying this to make a fucking point. A black man. What? Not you, Eric, but you're welcome to hop on if you want, man. You are welcome to. Are you talking about he loves the camera? Are you talking about Neil from Skeleton Crew? Because I agree, man. He's fucking gorgeous. He's a gorgeous little alien child. I don't know if that's wrong to say, but I don't want to be right. Oh, lost another 1,000. Oh, man. It's damn shame. Damn shame. Let's take a look at his channel. Let's take a look and see how he's doing. How about it? Oh, so Prophet of Zod is apparently changing his content. A lot of people doing that right now. kind of weird. Not really. It's understandable, I guess. Let's see. Okay. Oh, hey. What time is it? An hour from now, Organized Chaos is going to be streaming. I should have thought about that. I mean, I'm going to be done by then, but maybe I should keep it going until then. You guys let me know. If I keep it going for another hour, are you going to hop over to Organized Chaos? You should. You should. Or at least if you don't want to watch me for another hour, put a pin on that. You know, remind yourself that he's going to be coming on. He's targeting children now? I mean, you know, I wouldn't turn you on to some garbage. Morgan was spit with Star Wars, but I think that Skeleton Crew with an episode and about a half that I've seen is exactly what you would expect it to be in the best way possible from what it's obviously trying to be. Or you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty clear what it wants to be, what it was setting out to be, which is you know, Spielbergian 80s vibes, group of children on an adventure, you know, and it does it exceedingly well. Hits all the right beats. It's got some good surprises, some good characters so far. Yeah, you know, no big deal if you don't watch it. I'm just letting you know that it's not crap. It's not crap. It's it seems to be lovingly done. That could be, yeah. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Watch that Bones and All special again, because sure, man. Yeah. I actually might use you to go to the bathroom real quick once you hop on. I just gotta, you know, talk to a man about a what's the joke? What's the thing you say? I don't know. I gotta pee, man. You know, if you want to hop on. Do you have access? Because I started a new studio thing in the StreamYard. I don't know if you can jump in from that or if you need a link. Just let me know.
Obviously.
Wait, did I skip a freaking one? Yeah, thank you, Bob. That's it. See a man about a mule or a horse. Talk to a man about a moose or a horse. I couldn't remember which one it was. Here we go. Yeah, I was almost skipped one. Here's the main thing here.
As a comedian, I've got a responsibility that I take very seriously. The responsibility to get up in front of a group of strangers and give you my opinion on the trans community. Yeah. That's right. Look, guys, you've got to do it now. It's in the handbook. Now, I feel like the trans community are the new pregnant women. Just in that it is never polite to guess.
I mean,
that's a closer. I could leave right now, it'd be fine. But this woman grabs me, starts arguing with me. She says, Anthony, I've got to ask you, what is your intention with that trans joke? I said, well, my intention is to make trans people laugh. I mean, could you imagine? That would be historic. I love trans people. I empathize with the trans community. I'm not trans myself, but I too am always getting yelled at for walking into the wrong bathroom. I love trans people. You know what I hate? Pregnant women. I mean, fuck those chubby bitches, am I right?
There, those jokes are not about trans people. They're not aimed at trans people. They're aimed at the people that have problems with trans people. He goes on to the funniest part, in my opinion, the funniest bit is when he adds at the end, right after that, he says, he says, I hate pregnant women. And then he goes, I don't think they need to be able to play in competitive sports. What's up, Eric? Let's go, man.
Oh, what's up, man? Hold on for a second. I look a mess.
Oh, well, you look like your logo. You're fine.
Oh, shit. Hold on.
You don't have to be on. Hey,
no. I started up. I was looking the other direction. I didn't realize I had the camera turned off.
Should I do my camera higher, man? Should I? Because you got that kind of high angle going on, and I feel like maybe that. I
feel like it's all. So you remember? Oh God, maybe you don't remember. Maybe I'm dating myself here. The MySpace angle where you always took your pictures at like a.
Well, yeah, because then you look a little bit slimmer that way.
Yeah, I mean, So that's why I have it up a little bit higher. I actually had it up higher than this, and I lowered it.
Yeah. Did you hear any of those jokes? Those Anthony Jeselnik jokes from his recent?
Well, yeah. I actually saw that the other day on Blue Sky, so I'd already seen them.
Okay,
but they're pretty good. Yeah, I didn't see the whole special though. I know there's like a whole routine.
Like it made me laugh like 3 times that I watched it. He kind of has mastered the reversal there of like the trans joke. Like he starts off saying, it's my responsibility to get up in front of a bunch of strangers and give you my opinion on the trans community. He's like, it's in the handbook now. You have to. But then,
as a comedian,
yeah,
as a non-canceled comedian, it's your responsibility to do that now, and hopefully not get canceled in the process.
Probably the most like legit best part of the whole special is toward the end when he's just like, he just says, I don't like cancel culture. And he's like, nah, not really. What I don't like is fucking comedians complaining about cancel culture. He's like, it's not that hard. Do your fucking job. Yeah. It's pretty good, man. I like that he's kind of taking this stance, and I hope that maybe some more people will, get on board with him on that shit, because he is making some of these comedians look pretty goddamn dumb just by calling it out.
There was another comedian, I think maybe last year, where they were like, you can do jokes about trans people and gay people and anybody you want. It's just about the jokes you're telling. And he did a set that was non-offensive because it was all like speculatory humor, like visual stuff and things like that didn't come across as like hateful or mean. And it's because the attention of the joke was placed on the person observing and not the person. Mm-hmm. So it's like how he felt in that moment, instead of, oh, look at this trans person and they don't look like a woman and blah blah blah, and like none of that shit. So
I mean, yeah, I think that like what he does, we did a reaction to it. I'm gonna have that video up maybe tomorrow, where we really go into why it is that what he's saying is not the same thing as just shitting on trans people or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like, for one thing, he's going after pregnant women quite a bit and children, because like that's such an absurd thing, right? Mm-hmm. The whole point is that's his act, is like, I fucking hate kids and pregnant women. He's like, fuck those chubby bitches.
Yeah.
He says they shouldn't be able to play sports, and he's highlighting how fucking stupid it is to go after trans people.
The absurdity of that. Right. Argument,
like,
yeah,
pregnant women aren't harming anybody, trans people aren't harming anybody,
right.
You know what I mean?
So it's a stupid debate. Yeah, makes sense.
I didn't realize, or I forgot, I guess, that it was Thursday and that Bob would have a stream here in a little while, so I guess maybe I might try and keep it going till then. Okay. In that case, I do have something that I wanted to maybe look at. Just randomly came across my feed on YouTube, and it's from a while back, but I watched the first couple minutes and I was just so frustrated with how fucking obnoxious these people are. But what have you been up to, man?
Nothing really. I just, been busy doing stuff. I need to make some shorts for my channel, probably later tonight. Almost at 2,900 subscribers. I want to try and get to 3,000 by January. That's my goal.
I think that's possible.
Trying really hard. Everybody keeps saying my channel's dead, but my numbers keep going up, so I don't really know what that means. But
who's saying your channel's dead? Some kind of
the trolls.
Nobody's in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, in the comments, right? Yeah, that's the thing is I get people saying that in the comments, and I just laugh. It's funny because I have access to my metrics. I can see what's going on. They come in, oh, your channel's dead or whatever. Oh, my channel has been steadily gaining subscribers for the last 8 months. So I don't know what that even means. A dead channel would be like Eric July, somebody with 500,000 subs that can't even get a consistent 10,000 views on a video. That's a dead channel. So, but they don't want to talk about that because they don't understand percentages. Their brains don't understand how that works. So
I'm honestly surprised at like how. There's been probably 3 times when I was certain my channel was no longer going to grow, and it hasn't grown by leaps and bounds really at all since earlier on. But like, it doesn't take much, and I can tell that if I really buckled down and kind of just stuck to a more consistent, everything, that I could probably kick it up quite a bit. All it takes for my channel to grow a few hundred subs is just a really decent video. Sometimes it seems like, I don't lose a whole lot. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'm actually going to run to the restroom. Did you see any of the Dark Matter 2525 video?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, the relevant part is this here at the toward the end of his video. It's like a 55-minute video. You know who he is?
Yes. Yeah.
So he used to kind of be one of these anti-SJW types or whatever, and he got out of it pretty quickly. And now he's definitely on the other side of it, and he's kind of made this 55-minute video reflecting on like where he was at, why he fell into that, how quickly he got out of it, and then like just his perspective on this anti-woke shit now, and it's a really good video, worth watching. But then he does an edit thing toward the end that we've definitely talked about with these specific movies before, and he even uses the phrase "grandfathered in," which I was pretty sure I was the only one that used it for a long time. But like,
right.
But yeah, just check this out.
Okay.
It's really, really good. I'll be right back, and you're welcome to stop it and talk if you want to. Whatever.
Let's do a little thought experiment. 2 movies directed by James Cameron are extremely beloved and quite unique because they are sequels to classics, and it is widely accepted that unlike most sequels, not only did he respect the source material, but many would argue that he actually improved upon it. And those 2 movies are, of course, Terminator 2 and Aliens. Now, I very much enjoyed both of those movies, and so did most other people who watched them. I saw them both in the theaters on the first day they were released. And to many of us, they were a major part of our childhoods, and for that reason, they get grandfathered in to the anti-woke movement so that they are off limits. They are even used as the quintessential go-to examples that anti-woke critics will use to show how women protagonists should be done, and that they are not bigots after all, because they also enjoyed those movies.
I don't know how this video goes because this is my first time seeing it, but I will say that it's funny to me that if you look back, there was a very prolific vibe with those particular movies because they were things that had not been done before. Even though they were sequels, they were setting up an action situation that you don't typically see with women in lead roles. So even though they're grandfathered in, it's very obvious that they were unique when they were made and would have been the quote unquote woke or, modern interpretation of like a woman action hero at that time.
Let me get to the part here where he actually he goes into the perspective of a chud as if these were new movies, because that's where it gets real fucking brilliant.
Yeah. I've always thought about like in my mind, I've done the shower thoughts where I'm like thinking about this and like how they would view these movies in today, in 2024 or whatever.
he take like, I mean, we've talked about it before. I know all of us have probably on some level thought about it, but like he goes into some directions that I had not thought of, and like it's fucking masterful.
It might also be because if he was someone that was in that like anti-woke space, maybe he has a better understanding of that. So
yeah,
unstoppable monster. And then in their sequels, they both become iconic badasses protecting their children, fighting back against the monsters in action-oriented movies. Now, as an anti-woke critic, you might say that they both transitioned from women to men. And this would no doubt be part of some nefarious woke agenda. Maybe you could even mention something about Yuri Bezmenov. Now, how would these movies be broken down by an anti-woke critic if they came out today? Well, look at Sarah Connor. She went from being a classically feminine woman, desired by the man who came to save her, to a ripped, masculine woman who fights like a man. In the first movie, she knew her place.
Do exactly what I say. Exactly. Don't move unless I say. Don't make a sound unless I say. Do you understand?
But in the second movie, she's the one giving the men orders.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I'm not gonna let you do it.
I need clothes, food, and one of your trucks.
Hey, how about the feelings out of my fucking teeth?
Now, Enrique.
Look at Ellen Ripley, an attractive young woman who stood no chance against a single alien that killed the entire crew of her ship, someone who the camera did not shy
these
away
first ones
from
are the
when
obvious
it came to
stuff, right?
seeing her
Like the
feminine
deeper
body.
he goes, though, the more
But
I
in the
became
second
really
movie,
impressed.
with
Like,
zero
wow.
training, she managed to out-survive and outgun an entire elite Marine platoon who all died except for the one corporal who needed her to save him. They chopped off all her hair and dropped her into a world where the women wear men's suits and have more muscles than the men do. In the first movie, the Terminator was badass, but in the second movie, they
just want to point out that the character of Vasquez, you know, the buff, you know, butch Marine in Aliens, is played by an actress named what is it? I forget her first name, but it's like Goldstein.
Yeah. She's not a Hispanic actress.
Right.
So
it was kind of funny. I don't think they do that today. She's the same actress that plays John's foster mother in Terminator 2, actually.
turned him into a punchline, no doubt an influence of the woke MCU. What would they say about the man who was most directly responsible for the development of Skynet, and hence the nuclear holocaust? Oh, Miles Bennett Dyson, an obvious DEI hire? No wonder Skynet happened. And what's this? John Connor is a juvenile delinquent and ends up in a foster home with shitty parents, all white people, while Dyson has a fully intact, happy nuclear family.
See, I never would have even thought of this without like watching TV and taking notes. I would have probably caught it taking notes, but like if I would have off the top of my head made a video about this.
Gorman, a lieutenant of the Marines? No, of course not. He naturally panics and freezes. But Ripley, the invincible Mary Sue, takes control, charges in, and saves everybody. Wait a minute, what did I call them, by the way? Colonial Marines? You mean colonizers, right? And what happens to them? They all get killed. Yet another obvious heavy-handed Hollywood message: kill the colonizers. And what's the main reason they all die? Well, they got stranded. How'd they get stranded? Their dropship crashed. Who was piloting their dropship? DEI hire, that's who. And how was Sarah and the gang able to get past security of Cyberdyne Systems? DEI hire. In the first movie, Sarah did nothing but run and hide, but now she fights like a man and beats up only men. But I'm sure
what I'd said earlier was that, like, I don't think one Chud would have come up with all this, but if this had come out, Friday Night Tights would cover all this ground.
Yeah,
like they're the whole panel where they would each be kind of pecking away at it with this bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you not think so? Because I heard you saying whenever I came back that you think this is like, I didn't really hear what you were saying. Do you think that it would be kind of?
No, I agree.
Oh, okay.
No, I totally agree. I was saying that like the movies the way they functioned in their period in time would have been seen as progressive for women to be in these kinds of action roles. But because of the concept of grandfathering them in, that's why we're where we're at now. You know, I was agreeing with what he was saying, essentially.
I would say that I would even argue that was probably the appeal for most people that liked these movies when they came out, was to see the kind of reversal of like this woman being the badass. It's like, at this point, the Macho Man movie had gotten kind of stale, right? You know, Die Hard was one of the first ones to kind of say, okay, it's still a guy, but he's not like the big buff, you know, badass guy. He's a kind of a doofus sometimes. He's kind of fucking up left and right. You know what I mean? Like, he's a kind of scrawny guy. And yeah, they started kind of turning that stuff on. That was part of the appeal of these movies, in my opinion.
I mean, I even thought of it in a deeper way, because if you look back at games like the original Mortal Kombat, right, and you had the characters like Sonya, you know, in there, and if you want to go with the second one, you have Melina, Katana, those types of characters. As guys playing those games, when you're playing as Scorpion or Sub-Zero or Liu Kang, you imagine what it would be like to be those guys, to be kicking ass like those guys. That's how you play the game, with that in your mind. But guys that are playing the women characters are imagining how they could objectify the women that they're playing. So I think the problem is that we don't even realize that was the way it was even back then, because no one really went too deep into it. I mean, maybe there were people that felt that way, but they never talked about it. But
I would assume that at least some of these same guys that would now, you know, call stuff woke for having a strong female lead or whatever, even if they didn't consciously recognize it when they were kids, probably did appreciate it being a woman in these movies. You know what I mean? Like, I would think.
Well, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with them. Like, if you're what I guess what I was getting at was the idea of Sonya or Ripley or whoever it is, finding them attractive, but also being okay with them being badass was where we used to be. But what's happened is we've now, well, not us, but some of the culture's been convinced that a woman being badass and being more masculine is an undesirable thing. Yeah.
Wow. That isn't part of some woke agenda, right, Hollywood? By the way, Sarah Connor wasn't the only one who transitioned from female to male in Terminator 2. See, the first Terminator was very obviously male, but the new modern woke Terminator, it literally transitions from female to male right before our very eyes multiple times. Is it male? Is it female? Neither? Both? Apparently, it's what the wokes call gender fluid. Wait a minute. Liquid metal, gender fluid? The Hollywood message is at it again. And when it transitions into a man, it's not just any man, but a cop. Multiple different cops. Of course, they have to play into the ACAB narrative by presenting the cop as the bad guy, spitting in the face of the classic first movie where the cops were the good guys, but now they're the bad guys. And where does Sarah and John Connor find help from this unstoppable cop? Well, with a bunch of illegals, of course. They're helpless without the illegals who supply them with plenty of illegal guns to fight against the invincible cop. Just try to be a little more heavy-handed with the message, Hollywood. We're not getting it yet. And
what I think is funny also is looking at this and listening to what he's saying and going back and thinking about these films, we're making the same kind of movies. You know what I mean? Like, the stories are all very similar. They're just slightly tweaked, but they're the same type of stories. Like, if you look at something like Prey, which, by the way, badass movie on Hulu, the Predator film, Prey. Great fucking movie. It's just a retelling of the Predator series through the eyes of indigenous tribes. You know what I mean?
That movie came out and there were no YouTube videos to catch people before they saw it and plant this fucking filter in their brain of like, think about it like this. You know what I mean? Think about it, wokeness and DEI. Nobody would think about it like that, really. You know what I mean? Almost nobody would come to that on their own. It has to be fucking forced into their perspective to you know, for somebody to go, but wait, they're trying to tell you that this little, you know, girl that it spends a lot of time in the movie showing you what she's capable of doing, and she still fucks up quite a bit and needs help to get it done in the end. Thing doesn't matter. They're still trying to tell you she's a big badass that can take down the fucking predator by herself or whatever. It's like people would just watch the movie the way they did with these and go, that was a good movie. Like,
I mean, it used to be we watch movies with some sort of suspension of disbelief, like the idea that things could happen that wouldn't normally happen, because that's what movies are. I
mean, I do appreciate that, like a movie will take the time to help you, kind of sell that a little bit more. Like, he says in here that, Ripley does, kills all these xenomorphs without any training whatsoever. And it's like, it actually takes a moment to show him showing her how to use the gun. And it clearly says that it does have an auto lock, fire mechanism. Like, and it takes even more time in Alien Romulus to show you. I think it might even be the same gun, but it's a similar gun in Alien Romulus, where they very clearly explain that this thing, and it shows her using it, practicing, that like you basically just point it somewhere, and if there's a target, it's going to find that target.
It's like a smart gun, basically.
Yeah, it's a smart gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was the same thing in Aliens. It maybe glossed over it a little bit faster, but still, it's. Yeah.
Well, there's this thing called, I don't know if you saw the tweet or not, but Grums tweeted out something about media literacy and saying that it's a buzzword that doesn't mean anything. And that's really because they don't want to take accountability for being illiterate or ill-informed about the stuff they're talking about. It's easier to just go around and say random shit than it is to take the time to engage with the stuff you're talking about.
That's funny, because it actually is what I wanted to talk about maybe in this stream. I don't know. But this came across my my YouTube feed, which normally I don't get much chud content on my personal YouTube channel anymore. But I happened to get this one, probably because I've been watching Anthony Gramuglia videos. And so I was like, oh God, well, what is this? How can they say that he, because I've been in their fucking Reddit subreddit, seeing people discounting the very concept of media literacy.
Right.
EFAP fans, they do it a lot.
But wouldn't EFAP essentially be a literacy podcast? Because that's what they do. They overanalyze media, so they should know.
I think that's even not accurate. I don't think that's. I just watched the first couple of minutes of this real quick, because this is what really sent me, man.
Blade Runner. One of the essential sci-fi films of the 80s. The film is on paper about a.
Why did he say that? One of the essential sci-fi films of the 80s.
Because it is. They're pedants. That's all they are, is pedants.
Right.
Like they say, why would he say that? And it's like, because it is. What are you expecting him to say that's more accurate than that idea that he's trying to express?
I mean, essentially, Blade. Sorry. I was gonna say Blade Runner. Even though it wasn't like a massive breakout movie when it came out,
it was a box office bomb, but it has had more influence on like sci-fi.
I was going to say, yeah, exactly. So it established a lot of what we have in today's sci-fi things, like Matrix and all of these movies that fit like that dystopian era or whatever. That originated with Blade Runner. This was the movie that created that genre.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of crazy how much influence it's had for being a box office bomb, and it was panned by critics. Didn't
of the 80s. The film is on paper about a.
Why did he say that? One of the essential sci-fi films of the 80s. Why did he say one of the essential sci-fi films of all time?
It also just feels weird because
it's just the
80s. This is obviously like a media sphere video, and it's like Blade Runner. If you haven't heard of it, it's like, shut up.
Give me some credit.
The 80s. The film.
Like, what are they expressing with that? Their entire purpose is to just undermine things that actual analysis say.
Right.
That's what this does. They're not making any analysis on their own. They're just, childishly fucking trying to undermine what was said with no point behind it.
I would actually say that I feel like their podcast, maybe even their audience, has grown dumber over time.
Oh, yeah. I think they've definitely grown dumber. I remember hearing stuff that at least halfway sounded like a thought years ago with these guys.
I think they've gone too far. I think they've gone too far down the road.
Read of it. They purposely act obtuse to make the person they're covering look like idiots to their audience. Honestly, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Is on paper about a police officer, Deckard, a Blade Runner, hunting down rogue androids, known as replicants, from space. He finds them, exterminates them, and then runs away with a woman he is infatuated with who also happens to be a replicant. On paper, this sounds unremarkable.
You said on paper twice now, which is odd.
Remarkable. Cliche almost.
He said on paper twice, and that's bad somehow.
That's your subjective opinion, and you are welcome to have it, I guess.
All right. Okay.
Well, but this is just
So
the
much
point.
of
His
the
whole thing of
story is
like plot is not the part that we should care about. We should talk about what it means, all of it. But like he keeps using plot in the way I was talking about. Like describe the plot of the Matrix. Like guy breaks out of a system that was meant to keep him, restricted and in battery form to power some machines. You're like, is that it? You're like, well, I could go on, but I won't because I'm trying to make plot summary sound stupid.
What are they even saying, man? It's so fucking dense with fucking like there's no point to it, and the fact that they say that he's media illiterate and all they're doing is just like saying, oh, he described the basics plot points of this movie, and that's not what we should do. I fucking, it's fucking dense with just like idiocy.
Yeah, that's right.
Sounds unremarkable, cliche almost. So much of the story is told, however, through subtle means outside of the main plot. For one,
what do you mean outside of the main plot?
Why is it outside the plot?
I don't know. What do you mean by that?
It's in the main everything, basically everything in a way. It depends on how you definition. You might say that everything exists within the plot because the plot you might take a broad approach.
No. He specifically said main plot. There's a difference.
Rags, you're too fucking stupid to be on the internet.
Yeah,
you're too fucking stupid, man. Like, holy shit, dude.
Yes, there's a plot and then there's subplots. That's why he said main plot.
Well, he's also saying that things that like, if we're going by the imagery that he's showing in the video, he's showing Deckard's face and he's kind of got this forlorn look on his face for a minute. He looks kind of, dour. Like those type things also express, characterization and, that's not part of the plot, but it does inform the plot.
Right, because it's building the characters. It's not part of the main story.
Consider the plot to be in a film, and you might say that some things exist outside the plot because it's emergent from a thing that happens, and that. But this is basically starting to get into what you define things as.
Yes, man. That's true to a degree because
everything has to be defined because otherwise, how are we communicating?
They want everyone to think everything is fucking objective, and they want everyone to think that certain things are just fixed in a certain way, like good quality, bad quality, positive, sense, negative sense, like, and there's only that way to be seen or whatever. It's incomprehensible fucking garbage. I can't believe that they have a fucking following. Rags is somebody who said systematic racism in a video where he's talking about systemic racism. That should be all you fucking know. He said it multiple times. Systematic racism. That should be all you should need to know, that this guy doesn't understand fucking words, and he just says what he's a fucking Alabama trailer trash or whatever the fuck, that he's probably the smartest kid in his fucking trailer park. I'm sorry. And then like he thinks that's gonna fucking extend into the internet, and it doesn't.
The thing is, if you're gonna act this smart, you can't say stupid stuff. Like, that's just the reality of it. You have to understand the words you're saying, because otherwise, how are you going to talk shit about other people's level of intelligence or literacy or grammar or definitions? Like, how can you do that if you're someone that's just that stupid?
Random aside, but I was wondering yesterday, I was like, do you think Mahler, do you think Callum, do you think that dude, maybe he was the little kid that the critical drinker beat up that time?
Maybe.
I don't know.
He didn't press charges. He just became an internet personality. He's like,
anytime that somebody talks story, here comes Mahler, like, no, I'm going to defend him. Was that because he kind of just like got beaten into submission and became, he's like saw him as his better in that moment after being beaten up by him? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's his Joker moment, his breakthrough moment to the internet.
Yeah, just for a second, man. Yeah, it's so stupid and it's so fucking dumb. Like, how are these guys? How do they have a following, man? Like,
well, yeah,
Let's get us any closer to learning about bad media criticism. That's for sure.
If the entire thing is the story, and we split down into like the four of character, plot, world, and theme, arguably those categories are very arbitrary. Some of the lines between some of the things
They're
are
not
actually-
arbitrary. They're not arbitrary though. That's not how scripts work, man. Like, it's not how movies and TV shows are written. Like, you don't arbitrarily write things. You have a very specific reason for why something is included in a story, or it ends up on the cutting room floor, typically, unless you're making some sort of what is it? Step Brothers type movie or The Hangover, where you're gonna have ad libs, but otherwise it's all part of the script.
It's you're welcome to hop on for a minute. I'm not gonna be on too much longer, Ant, but you're welcome to hop on. I can drop the link if you aren't able to access it.
How the fuck did, like, the thing about these guys, and maybe I gave Mahler too much credit. I probably did. I felt like out of all of these like grifty chuddy guys, that Mahler sort of understood media a little bit better than some of the other people because of the type of content he makes. But it's very clear that either he has gone so far down the rabbit hole with these guys that now that's gone, or he was always like that and he just hadn't been sort of exposed for these things prior to this, because he sits on a podcast. What is it? He's on the Real BBC now with Az and Gary. Maybe that's gotten to him. Like, I remember that clip we always talk about where he lets Az explain what a trailer is, and it's just
right. Well, then there's this.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, like, how does this society? Well, I guess we eventually see like how it operates, but it's just like, how do you build stuff, man? Like in water, like
underwater welding. It's one of the most essential jobs on the planet.
That's going to be really difficult, right?
As well, because it's not like on land where you have seasons or you have like changing weather or anything. Like, you're under the ocean. It's just the same all the time. And clearly you can survive under the ocean. You don't need buildings.
You know what else is weird? People can't breathe underwater. That's another weird thing. So, I mean, if I were going to argue about reality, the first thing I would start with is that humans cannot breathe underwater, not whether or not you can build things underwater. That just seems like you've gone too far at that point. So
the ocean does have seasons. You're right. Holy shit, it does.
Yeah.
It's know what this is, and I have defended them. I have legitimately defended them in that clip by saying I don't think it's pure stupidity. I think it's just what you were talking about, where the content that they've created for so long has siloed them into this mode of thinking that they have to say something that they feel is snappy, that their audience is going to go, that's true. They have to think of something real fast. They got to think of it. So when they're watching or talking about Wakanda Forever, and it's generally not a bad movie. Maybe a little bit slow and a little bit dull, and
I mean, it's not as good as the first film, but it's not a bad movie.
And this is not a fault of the movie itself, but it is definitely overshadowed by Chadwick Boseman. There's nothing you can do about it, right? But but nonetheless, you have to find something to talk shit on, because it's an MCU sludge movie, as they call it. It's sludge. It's MCU. So you have to think of the message and. Look, these people live underwater. What does that even, how do you even build stuff underwater? That's stupid. That's
not how can you breathe underwater? How do they fly? Why does he have wings on his ankles? Like none of the stuff that you could really go after. Let's try and talk about the reality of building structures underwater. That makes the most sense.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's bad at all. I mean, I'm willing to lend that I would understand if somebody was just like, I didn't enjoy it very much, even though I don't think it's a bad movie, right?
I think Angela Bassett was amazing in that movie.
Yes, she absolutely was.
She carried the film like pretty much on her back for the first half.
What's his name that plays Namor? But he was excellent. I hope to see more of him.
Yeah. The issue with Namor, though, the reason why he's even in that movie is because I believe he's one of those characters where Marvel doesn't have the individual film rights. I think he has to be included in movies with other characters. Yeah, I think so. I have to double check, but I believe that's
well, I mean, I know that the person we shouldn't ask is Eric July, because this is what he says.
The Black Panther character, the Namors.
Namors.
Yeah, and then there's I think the one you were talking about was what was it?
I don't know.
Something stupid from those guys. I know that.
They say a lot of stupid stuff. I've been watching their clips, and it's just clearly they've both checked out at this point. I don't know how much you've seen of their recent stuff, but they're just
Who named Horse?
Horseman. No, they've kind of checked out. I mean, Eric just admits constantly that he doesn't watch any of the stuff that he's talking about. So it's just I don't know what value their viewers are getting from them. I mean, I guess not a lot considering he's losing subs at a pretty quick rate. So,
but I mean, his fan community is thriving though, right?
I don't know about that. I will say that it looks as if the numbers keep going the way they are, he'll be under 500,000 in January at some point.
Oh wow. I mean, maybe he'll do like a bot buy before then or something.
Maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's see. Rippaverse subreddit over here.
Oh, the Ghost Town 3 online right now.
Woo. Braxcast still keeping it going, going
and
strong.
You know, the thing about it is, I see that all the time. Look, if somebody went through the trouble of creating an entire podcast around the Rippaverse, and he's the only person doing it, why is Eric not like giving this guy more attention? Why is it that this?
Because you would be calling out the fact that he's the only one, right?
Yeah, I know I think he's been on that guy's podcast before, like at the very beginning, but I haven't really seen him since then.
Because he knows that the type of audience that he's fucking developed is a bunch of grift-minded libertarians like himself that are just like money, money, money. They would definitely, if he started feeding crumbs to this guy, giving him scraps, they would start popping up out of the woodworks, right?
Yeah,
that makes sense. There would be like the new Braxcasts all over the place. That's the kind of fucking atmosphere that he's created.
I have heard though that Horseman is one of the more competent stories, but it's a standalone comic book. It's like a one-shot story about this street level character. Which, to be fair, if we're talking about what Chuck Dixon has done well, I guess in the past is street level stuff. So it makes the most sense that would be his best book. But
I mean, I would assume it is probably the best, most competent, enjoyable book of all of them so far.
Because it had nothing. Eric didn't have anything to do with that. It was literally just Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett.
And I'm like I said when I talked about Chuck Dixon's QAnon comic book with the Nazi publisher, it's an enjoyable issue. The first issue is enjoyable, as just kind of bare bones, or not like just kind of like what you expect from he's a government agent who gets burned and has to go rogue. That's what the first issue is about, and it's only until the last page, whenever you actually see Q, is anything to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything from there is just a rogue agent that's burned and kind of trying to flee and fight for his life and get answers and whatnot. And it's exactly what you'd expect that story to be, but it's done competently.
Right.
It's only in the context of it being a fucking QAnon comic that it becomes like,
yeah, very yikesy.
Anyway, maybe we'll see
crickets, tumbleweed. Yeah.
Nobody even cares enough to like delete this post. They're just like,
no. Where are the mods at? Like, are they just not non-existent? I mean,
I guess not, man. They flee,
Look, another one. There was another tumbleweed thing right there between the two Braxcasts.
9 days since my last post, since there's only been 2 other posts on the subreddit and not got any engagement. Let's see what they're saying.
But you know what's really telling about this is, damn.
There hasn't been much to talk about. That's the truth, man.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
No, he's become very boring. I don't even like. People aren't getting much traction, quote unquote, detracting his content anymore. This was predicted. I mean, we pretty much predicted this. We talked about this. People only care about Eric July when Eric July is being angry and mad and shitting on people. That's why they like his content. They don't care about his comic books. They don't care about his business stuff. His creator business channel is still sitting in limbo. He hasn't made a video on it in over a month.
Not the
people
Black
just don't
Panther
care.
The name Wars.
I suspect there's going to reach a point where Not with the Rippaverse stuff, because I'm not sure, you know, I'm not going to pretend to understand everything about his business, I suppose. But from a YouTube standpoint, he's going to have to make some changes, because his channel is, the clips from his podcast is not going to sustain his channel. It's just not. And I think as is a detriment to Eric July, but I don't know if he'd ever admit that or not.
I mean, I don't think they can admit any kind of failure of any kind. You know what I mean? Like that Dark Matter 2525 video perfectly illustrates that. You know, as uses, you know, that one of the handful of angry triggered SJW women images. That's the woman with short hair and she's got glasses and she's like, you know, like that. He actually shows in his video, Dark Matter, the clip that's from. It's a pretty short clip, and what she's doing in that moment, she's not even angry. She's just kind of like, impassionedly. She's actually the only person in the clips citing any facts, any statistics. It's just there's that one moment that catches her looking kind of wild or whatever, and that still uses that one little out of context paused face in his fucking thumbnails. Meanwhile, he can do a 15-minute rant. It's obviously performed triggered about pronouns. You know what I mean? And it just, everybody's okay with it. Everybody just lets it happen because it's not a serious thing. They're not serious people. They're not to be taken seriously. Yeah. Oh yeah, you were talking about the trailer thing, the Logan trailer. By the way, did you get to catch any of the Shillcast since we did it?
I mean the award stream or whatever. Yeah. I watched through most of it. Yeah, I tried to get as much of that watch as I could. So
it was a good time.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed it. I got stuck at work and couldn't get out.
That coworker, man. That's all I'll say. You know.
Well, they're not even working there anymore. So because of that.
Well, I don't think we try not to give ourselves too many awards. So I think that we definitely mentioned you as being one of the most effective communicators, I think, and who's had a pretty substantial, like honestly, tangible, visible effect on the corner that you've operated in and the people that you've kind of communicated with. So I don't remember if we actually gave a shilly for that. I mean, a lot of it was like we had like a handful of shillies and a handful of chuddies, and the rest of it we're like, we'll just make it up as we go. We'll just kind of
that's cool.
But yeah, we definitely wanted to just kind of like create an atmosphere of celebration of the fact that there's a lot more people doing this stuff and there's a diverse range of people doing it and new people all the time, and that's really good.
There's kind of a shift in everything right now, really. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing larger channels start to call out the nonsense. We're seeing some people step away altogether, like people in both spaces kind of stop doing it and moving on. And I actually think that I don't want to jump into politics too much, but I feel like politically everything that's happened over the last couple months has sort of opened a lot of eyes on how, I guess, stupid a lot of people are and how we are living in a society where there's some serious problems that go beyond just podcast bros. I mean, there's other stuff going on. I think education is definitely a big problem. And I didn't realize how bad it was. I think obviously, you look at the places where they're trying to dismantle access to proper education. It's pretty obvious they want stupid people living in this country, Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm in Oregon. Linda McMahon, I guess, is going to be in charge of the education department if whatever's left. You know what I mean? It's not going to be good for a lot of the states that aren't going to put money into it as a state. But like Oregon and California and stuff, I'm sure they'll find ways.
Well, the states that funnel all the money to the red states are going to be okay with this, but the red states are going to be full of idiots. They're going to be just dumb,
more low information, dumb voters. And I hate to put it that way and just say it's about being dumb, but it's not. I
mean, look at South Carolina. South Carolina's at the bottom. It's a bottom end of like the education space.
It's like when I'm saying these stupid people like that, I'm almost, it's like not about them as what they're born as. It's about them as victims, honestly.
Exactly.
Victims of the system.
Yeah.
And stupid is just a shorthand way of putting it, because like if born in a different state with a different education parameters around them, they could have been, you know, just as capable as anybody else of being informed voters and voting for their own interests and stuff. But yeah,
victims that's a good way. I wish we could come up with a better term than stupid, because I feel like stupid is too broad of a term. They're like victims of government, like the government effectively taking education away, you know, and they want people to work in mines. They literally want them to go back to doing, because I don't know if you saw or not, but China basically wants to withhold shipping over things that are needed for uninformed. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, look at who's right up top now. With you got Musk, who's he's got a game he's playing. He legit wants to fucking go to Mars or whatever, and he's not going to get. I mean, yeah, there's going to be smart people that are up top making doing the science shit, but there's going to have to be a labor force that goes to Mars eventually.
Right.
And they're not going to be looking for the smart people to do that. You know what I mean? They're going to be looking.
I really wish that Elon and the entire cabinet of Trump would just go. They could all go to Mars. They could leave. If I could donate to anything for that group, it would be their trip to Mars. Like I would send over $50 for that. Like, go ahead, go to Mars, and please never look back.
Yeah.
But like China is withholding resources for us that we would use for like computers and cars and things like that. And they're like, oh, we'll just start making it ourselves. They don't even understand that takes decades to build up that kind of infrastructure when it comes to that type of business. You can't just start making them tomorrow. That's not how that works. They just don't realize that.
I mean, like Idiocracy, I don't think is really the best, because that movie implies that people are just born stupid kind of thing. I don't think that's really. I mean, it's a fun movie. It's still funny.
I also think that movie is also under the assumption that people are not necessarily evil. And I think we've seen there's a lot of people that are just like they are definitely evil people. So
Mike Judge is a smart guy, but I think he just counted the level of evil that exists in the world. Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is we talked about we've touched on it a little bit, but Sissy SpaceX. Oh my God, this sounds like a drag queen's name. We talked about it a little bit, but there's this idea that the cat is out of the bag, so to speak, when it comes to people that we care about as family members or friends, or not even that, just people we see every day, that they're just okay with racist shit, and it's like, there's no way, like you and I, and maybe even like part of Gen Z is cooked when it comes to that shit, because I don't know if people that have gone so far to like using slurs again and things like that, I don't know if there's any I don't know, path to redemption on that in modern times. I mean, that's something that's going to take years to be fixed.
There's been a lot of effort, and I think the content that we've covered for a couple of years now has been a big part of the effort to dull empathy, to make people more okay with not just apathy, but like even malice, and just being okay with others, if not being harmed, then just not giving a fuck if they are being harmed. You know what I mean? And in some cases, definitely with being malicious and wanting people to be harmed. That's what this content has. That's the purpose it served in a lot of ways. It's like saying, these biases that everybody has some form of in some way. You know what I mean? Like it's biases or something that happened. There's not something you should be ashamed of. What you should be ashamed of is whenever you're given the opportunity to see that you have a bias and then not try to learn and grow and do better from that. This content says, no, fuck that. These biases that you have about like, oh, I don't understand, queer people or queer culture or something like that. I don't relate to that, and I'm kind of put off by it or whatever. That's the right thing to think. You should be put off by that. You should think that they're freaks. You should think that they're bad. You should think that they're coming for your children. You should think that they're fucking everything that's wrong with everything.
They're attacking people in the bathrooms and things like that. Yeah. All of this stuff. Yeah.
Instead of, maybe I just need to fucking talk to some queer people and hear what shit's really about. You know what I mean? Like, listen to some content. And
I have to say it's very, I used to be kind of nervous about going into spaces with a bunch of people who I don't want to say don't like gay people. I think that's probably the wrong way to look at it. That don't know a lot about gay people, don't know a lot about queer people in general.
I think that's where a lot of it starts, just kind of being like, oh, I don't know what this person's about. You know, and that's a normal reaction to have. Right?
I go in, I have chats with them, and I think there's a little bit of give and take from that. What I mean by that is, it gives me the opportunity to hear directly from people who are either they think that a lot of these things are real, they're not totally sure about it, and they're curious about it. And I have an opportunity to talk to them directly, and hopefully the exchange on that is that I'm able to explain to them the reality of what's going on. Now, Low Watermark, we had a chat about he's getting ready to get started.
Yeah, I think just a few minutes, I believe.
All right, well, we can jump off in a second. But Low Watermark, who I'm hoping to have on stream, I'm thinking I've got a new I'm gonna announce it here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna announce it right here today before we end the stream. So I'm hoping to have Low Watermark on again, but he's one of the people where I had an opportunity to talk to him, and he's very honest about the conservative community and where they're at, and how they feel about things. And that's been an invaluable resource of information from somebody that I think I have very high opinion of Low Watermark in terms of being upfront and honest and not really keeping anything from me when I ask him questions. So that's really good. So I do appreciate that from him. And I can't wait to have him on the new stream, which, by the way, I hope you'll come on the new stream. And the branding and everything is done. I have, I'm working on the last bits of it now, but it's going to be called Copecast.
Oh, shit.
And COPE stands for Crying Over Pronouns Every Day. And that's what it's going to be. And it's going to be a sort of not as serious but not serious stream where I'm going to pull up these topics and these videos of chuds being outraged by stuff that's just absolutely ridiculous, and then chatting about it and dismantling it and like debunking it live on stream. So that's kind of what it's going to be. But I also want to have people on that have talked about debating or whatever. Which, by the way, somebody in the Mauler subreddit, was it Mauler? No, Asmongold subreddit, said that they had reached out to debate me and I declined them. And I was like, nobody that is asked to debate me, except for Hypnotic, which I've been very vocal about, have I ever said no to. I haven't said no to anyone. So that was a lie. They were lying about me in Asmongold's subreddit because they didn't think I would find it. But one of my magical powers is being extremely nosy. So I go looking for shit all over the place, and I tracked that down and saw that. And I called him out. I was like, look, you've never asked me to debate. That's never happened. So I don't know who this
community.
Someone in his community did it.
Gotcha.
He actually reacted to my video. So there's a video of him reacting to my video, which I find hilarious. And I said this on Discord. Why the fuck does somebody with as many followers and subscribers as Asmongold care about what I have to say about his tweet? Why was I singled out?
I mean, I think it's the same
because I was telling the truth. I was right about it. He wanted to like humiliate me. That was what it was.
Try and shut you down, and they have to like try and get ahead of it, and they can't do it with any kind of argumentation or facts or anything. So the best they can do is just get their fucking hive minds to kind of like against you, right? Like the same thing Eric July does, just on a much larger level as far as Asmongold goes.
I saw that, and they were like, he's going to come after you. I said, I mean, you guys are doing exactly what you claim that I want clout, and then he gives me clout. So, like...
Yeah, that's the cockroach. That's the guy.
Well, I called his fans cockroaches. I said, all these cockroaches coming over here in my fucking comment section.
That video clip where like he doesn't react like most people would to finding a cockroach on. Most people would do an embarrassing thing of like, you know what I mean? He's just like,
Yeah. The funny thing about it is, it's always funny when a new chud, or I say new chud, when a chud who's never seen me finds me the first time, and their little minions come over and try and talk shit to me, and think that that's going to do something. It's hilarious. They don't know me, so they're trying. They don't realize they've just stepped into the lion's den, and I might be a small channel, but that doesn't mean anything. So,
well, folks, if you're hungry for more delicious initiative content, you should just head on over here to freaking Organized Chaos. I was about to say Bob of the old ways, the other Bob. The other Bob.
The other
Chaos.
Bob.
In the meantime, I do have this clip that you brought up earlier that you mentioned, and it is really good about as it's point of like, and it's like, okay, fine, it's kind of true, I guess. Like he says
it's a good pause though, because I was going to say, did anyone else get struck by the editing's a little choppy in this trailer? Like it feels like it's one draft away from complete.
Then Az's response to that is
it feels like they're cutting lots of stuff out.
Yeah.
Of what's actually happening. So yeah, we're getting kind of like a really condensed. This scene might go for 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
was his fucking response to like,
God.
I mean, you know, that's definitely just stating a fact about what editing does. You know what trailers are, and then he thought he was saying something profound.
Whoa.
I guess.
You mean a trailer's a cut up version of the movie, just doing highlights? What?
The scenes are actually much longer in the movie.
Oh,
Raid Bob's chat. Tell him who sent you. Tell him congratulations for winning the best voice. The best voice. He was the only contender. There was nobody up against him. Who could have gone against him? No, you know what? Fucking Bob Chaos is the shit, man. Like I can't tell you guys. Like I fuck with him a lot. We joke around quite a bit, and you know, at his expense, and he's fine with it. And it's like whatever. He's so fucking chill. He's got such a tough fucking exterior, and he's so confident because he knows what he's talking about. And that's what being a true fucking badass. If there was such a thing as a Sigma or something like that, which I don't think there is, but if there was, that's what Bob would be. Because he doesn't need your fucking approval. He doesn't care about your shitty, if you have a shitty take about him or his voice or anything like that. Fuck you, man. Like he knows what's up. And that's why he can go up against Eric July, you know, fucking EVS or whoever, and just like shit rolls off his back. They think they got him pinned, and then they don't. And you know, and then we make fun of his fucking voice, and he makes fun of his own fucking voice. It's like, yeah, Bobcast is the fucking man. But anyway, did you see that we are losing? We're down a man. I think you know all this anyway. We are down a man. But we're up a woman.
Yes. So all that.
I think next week will be the new Forbes some if you're going to be on anyway.
They're going to make you work overtime on doing intros, so now you have to go through and do a whole new intro for the stream.
I think I'm going to just make a really simple intro and maybe show like a clip from somebody's channel or something before each stream each week or something like that. We'll see. But, yeah. All right, guys, head over to Organized Chaos, subscribe to him. If you're not subscribed to Eric Debunks, you got to help him get to that 3K before.
I'm trying to get to 3K by January, and time is ticking. We're 5 days into December, so I got 20 some days to do that. And I just uploaded. I'm very active right now. I've got like 4 videos this week, so tons of content over there.
And Reggie, I mean, I won't announce anything until you're certain, but yeah, well, let me know and we'll talk about it. If you're for sure, then I can announce it tomorrow for you. If you come hop on tomorrow night and talk about it, whatever. But yeah, man, you got to go watch the Shillies. Watch the end of the Shillies there.
Yeah, it's on that. It was really nice. It was a really nice step fun. Down. Yeah.
Me and Bob had that thing planned, and I was like, I think this would be a good send off. But yeah. Yeah. Wow. Seems like I haven't streamed in forever. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's why when I saw you live, I was sitting here doing work at the desk and I was like, what? Dane's live?
And I'm always so good at ending these things, man. Let's see. No. All right. You know what? We got a couple minutes left on this Dark Matter video. So I'm just going to close out with that while we're waiting on Bob to start up.
Sounds good.
Have a good one. Thanks, Eric Debunks, for popping on.
Yeah.
The true nature of the aliens, anyway. Why are they such formidable opponents? Well, all the aliens you actually see are just lowly male drones serving a queen. That's right. In the first movie, the alien was a Sigma male. But in the second movie, it's a matriarchy.
There's like one female that runs the whole show.
Yes, the queen.
Yeah, the mama. She's badass, man. I mean big.
Ripley charges in and starts aborting all the unborn aliens, which of course triggers the Queen, who chases after Ripley. And how does she end up defeating the Queen anyway? Oh, that's right. Remember that scene where she proves that a woman can use a loader better than the men, the well-trained Marine men, who have no choice but to protect their fragile egos by laughing at her? Well, that's what she uses to face the Queen, a strong black female.
She knew. And nobody believed her.
Now, I could go on and on and on and on, but clearly the point is that the timeless classics Alien and Terminator were bastardized by woke Hollywood sequels nobody asked for. All right, that's enough. You get the idea. It's analysis that's so shallow, you can literally invent offense into anything you want and then claim it's part of some nefarious agenda.
Thank you. Thank you.